Hello. Just met with the players. They've had medical, all that stuff this morning, kind of doing their checklist. They'll get with the coaches, and then that's it, man. It's hard to believe. This is it. And, it's going to be a hard pill to swallow watching these teams in the playoffs. But I think you got to watch them, I think you got to force yourself to do it, because that's, the drive to want to be there, be a part of it. And, that's what this business is really about, man. At the end of the day, is the competition, finding a way to win. I thought the guys earned that win yesterday. Man, they came out, and collectively that team showed up. Our team showed up, and they fought. They played hard, and played complimentary football. I was proud of them for that. Questions?
Yeah, when a season ends this way, obviously not what you wanted. You've done a lot of winning up till this point. Do you stay the course pretty much and still stay committed to the way you've done things, or do you look at making a lot of wholesale changes, coaching hires, personnel, whatever it might be, scheme, anything? Do you take a whole look at it and maybe think about tearing it down and doing different things?
Well, I want to, first of all, I don't want to make any decisions that I'm not prepared to really think through. So I'm going to need a little bit here. I'm going to need a few days to really think about this and deep dive some areas. I'm willing to do whatever is best for this team. I'm going to do what I believe is best for this team. I will do. I think as far as doing things, some of it is a little bit like, I want to get back to some of the things we were doing a couple of years ago, and what I say and what I mean by that is just getting back to a little bit of what we did at the ground level, man. Just a little bit of the way we train, the way we go about things. This is going to be a good training camp for us. We're going to go back and really sharpen the sword a little bit. Just, and I know that's a ways off, but I think that's the big thing.
Away from there, Dan, that you're sort of referring to, that maybe cost you.
I don't want to go into that right now. I don't want to go into that.
Dan, I know you said you want to think things through, but just surface level, do you think it's more than just tweaks that are needed with the roster, or is it tweaking?
I think it's a number of things. I do. I think it's, and I don't think in itself one thing is not a huge thing, but I think when you start adding up a number of things, maybe we need to do. We need to make a couple of changes, to move a couple of guys in areas, whether it's coaches or players. I think it's all of that. I think it's, I think some things that happen are also, man, we learn on the fly here a little bit too, man, learning to adjust as we go through and growing, which I did think we grew as the season went on in some areas, learning to adapt, adjust, all that. And there again, we always know we're going to get hit by injuries, right? That's happened every year. That's part of the NFL. Everybody gets it. But, we just always got to think about, man, contingency plan. How do we make the most of this roster and really preparing the next guy up to be ready, to step up for us for, if possible, half a season. I mean, that's what we're charged with.
It's so much of a upward trajectory. Like, since you got here, every year it's gotten better and better and better. This is the first year kind of regressed in a sense. But how much do you guys still believe in your process as far as the core fundamental players? And do you still believe in what you guys built?
Oh, for sure. For sure. We're not going to back down on that. We believe in what we do. It's got us to where we've gotten to at this point. Now, we fell short this year. And look, we all acknowledge that. I acknowledge that. It's bitter, It's a bitter taste. I mean, it feels good to win yesterday, but ultimately it's frustrating, But we got nobody to blame but ourselves. But I really don't believe we're that far off. There's a couple of things we can do, and I just want to make sure, man, we go after it, man. And I'm not saying we weren't hungry, but let's get that hunger back. And, we're going to bring in some guys to compete. That's the thing, man. We need competition in a lot of areas, man, because that brings out the best in players, whether it's with some of the guys that were here or the guys that we bring in. That's how you elevate the roster.
For over half the season, I know you prefer not to.
I'm sorry.
You called plays for over half the season.
Yeah.
I know you prefer to not do that so you can pay attention to some of the bigger picture stuff in game, but are you intrigued at all by the potential stability that being the permanent play caller could provide? And is that something you'll seriously consider this offseason?
I'm open to anything. I don't know exactly where I'm at with that yet. One of the good things, if I did do that, you don't have to worry about somebody else leaving. You don't have to worry about your play caller leaving. So that would be one of the perks of it. But I'm going to think through all of that. And there again, I think I really want to do what I feel is best for the team. And that included, if I believe that's what's best for us and, we and I feel good about it, then I will. If I just feel like I don't, then I won't do it. I won't do it.
Hey, Dave, it's been 5 years here. You won your last regular season game all 5 years. A lot of people say there's no cure because it's a different team next year. Do you feel there's a cure for winning the last game, even though you probably could have got better draft choices by losing the game?
Well, yeah, I'm not worried about the draft, whatever. I think it's important we play to win. We play to win. Otherwise, why we shouldn't have rolled out Goff or St. Brown or Reeder or Decker or any of those guys if we weren't saying we wanted to win. We play here to win. We got a lot of young guys on this roster. They need to see how it's done. They need to understand we're here to win. We're here to compete. We're here to get better. You're not here to just be here and get by. We need it from everybody. And so I think what's important is that we win, and we're always trying to win. And no, it didn't get us anywhere, but we won. And that was the objective.
Decker,
injuries.
Go ahead.
With Decker kind of openly contemplating his playing future, what lessons can be learned about the Frank Ragnow situation last year? Do you kind of have to plan like you might not be here? Like, does that change the offseason plan at all?
Well, we're going to have to obviously take note of that. And I know Decker's going to come talk to Brad and myself here, either today or tomorrow. And, and I know this, whatever goes down there, from his perspective, he's going to need some time. You just do. When you've played as long as he has and had the career he's had, and you're going to need a little bit. But absolutely, we learn lessons. You learn lessons there.
Injuries.
Are you most proud of?
I'm coming back to you, Justin.
You're most proud of from this season, and what is most disappointing?
Well, I'm proud of the way these guys just responded every week, man. It's not easy to, you win, you lose, you win, you lose, you win, and for these guys to, of course, it can get frustrating, but man, they came back to work every Wednesday and they went after it. They tried to improve. You go out to the games, man, they bust their ass, and sometimes it doesn't work the way you wanted it to. And but this group, man, they never laid down. They just came back in. They were great teammates, and so I appreciate that, man, the work ethic that these guys had. Obviously the most disappointing thing is I said this to them yesterday. I said it last night. We were one play away from getting in, basically. One play, either Minnesota game or Pittsburgh or you're probably in, you have a good chance. And so that's how close it is. That's what this league is.
With injuries, Dan, you said you've been hit every year, and obviously it's part of the game, but maybe a little bit more heavier than most teams the last 2 seasons. When you evaluate that on a big picture, how do you compartmentalize the different components? What do you need to look at there? Or do you just chalk it up to a stretch of bad luck?
Yeah, I think when you start talking about some of these, it's like, man, look at the soft tissue. That's where I always start, because if you got a major soft tissue issue, then it's more than just the player, in my opinion. There's other factors. We've been great. We do a great job of preparing our players. When you start talking about, it's an Achilles, unfortunately, those are freak things, man. And so it's for whatever reason, we've kind of been hit, man. And you know, we've and listen, as far as practice, I've done everything, man. I've done from walkthroughs to doing a little bit of both, and so at the end of the day, I know this: you got to get your team prepared to play, and so that's what I'm always going to hang my hat on. I like our training staff. I think they do a hell of a job. I really do, and you know, it was a tough year in some areas.
Yep, you've been on the job now 5 years. I know you'll do a comprehensive self-scout of yourself and everything, but just if I ask, how do you feel like you did this year on the job being the head coach of the Lions?
Not good enough. We didn't get in. I mean, we underachieved, so not good. I would give myself a freaking F.
Of all those things you want to deep dive this offseason, you know, what's top of the list? Play calling or a personnel thing, or what do you need to figure out first, I guess?
Well, the first thing I got to figure out is the staff. I need to make sure that, where do we go from here? You know, I just need to make sure that I feel good about, where the guys are at, the positions they're in, or do we tweak a couple of things, move a couple of guys? Do we, do we stay pat? Those are the things I got to sort through. That's the first for me. That's what I got to get through. And I got to do some digging here.
Decisions on that yet, or that's
no, I haven't.